Well, here I am once again with my lovely trio of rats. Say hi to the camera, Crystal. Or just lick me. Whatever you prefer. But it's not this trio you want me to talk about, is it? Well, my presence in lab was not required today, so I had time to swing by a theater where matinee prices were still in effect. I had a choice between Hunger Games and Three Stooges, and since the former is a book, I went with the latter. I won't claim to be a rabid fan or an expert on Three Stooges, but whenever I had cable access and was just flipping channels, I'd watch Stooges when it came up. It's classic slapstick comedy at its finest. But this movie, it snuck up on me. All this hype over Avengers and The Last Batman. I had no idea it existed until the commercial started airing, and I think this thing was in development for over a decade. The big question I had was, can Three Stooges be updated for modern day, work with Jersey Shore and iPhones? I mean, a lot of people whine and bitch about how their childhoods were destroyed just because Michael Bay had the Autobots transforming into contemporary cars. When people warm up to seeing the Stooges walking down a road that has Toyota Priuses and shit. When the movie began, I admit, I thought I was in for a lot of pain. It didn't help that it kicks off with some nun that eerily looks like Governor Rick Perry, and eventually unfolds into a plot ripped right from that shit biscuit of an NES game, Save an Orphanage. The slapsticky scenes were as entertaining as ever, especially the hospital chase scene almost halfway in, where Curly disguises himself as a nurse that looks like Mimi from the Drew Carey show. But I just felt like the writers were going through the motions, just doing a tracing job of what Stooges used to be. But halfway through the movie, something happens. It's like the script finally shifts into gear, and whereas before it just felt like random shit was happening, now everything starts coming together. It's here it got suspenseful, making me anxious to see how everything would play out, plus the film took on a little layer of subtlety and real emotion. This is kind of why I refuse to demonize Spider-Man 3, how it all came together beautifully by movie's end, but while all the pieces of Spider-Man 3 only came together for the final battle, here that happened much earlier, and was pulled off so adroitly that Moe winding up on the cast of Jersey Shore felt perfectly natural. Yes, I said that. And despite the gear shift halfway in, the movie never loses sight of its main draw, the Stooges themselves. The actors cast as the timeless trio were absolutely flawless in their performance, and it honestly felt like the originals fell into a time warp and went from the Great Depression to the Great Recession without missing a beat. And again, seeing the Stooges make use of a cassette player and grapple with troubles over healthcare insurance didn't feel weird at all. Best of all, it's still a lighthearted PG film, so it's a perfect family outing and a great way to introduce a new generation to film icons. Oh, one last thing. Apparently this movie has gotten flack about anti-Catholicism and shit. To higher-ups in the Catholic leadership out there, stop acting so fucking butthurt all the time. Be grateful the one crack about molestation did not involve little boys. The Stooges only thought the diocese leader was being inappropriate with some of the younger nuns. Stupid whining about religion bashing aside, I'll give the Three Stooges a 7.5 out of a possible 10.